Hi everyone, my name is Patrick Jost and I'll be presenting Adela Apartments to you today. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of land we gather on today and pay our respects to their elders past and present. Before I talk about the building, I'd like to talk a little bit about the client. I'm a big believer in a good client resulting in a good project, and our client on this project is one of our oldest and most regular since we met 12 years ago when I designed a house for him. Over those years, we've worked together on a number of projects and we became really good friends and developed a unique level of trust, which just makes the process of delivering a building so much easier. The project brief was, as a development, was to deliver a high-end product that would suit a range of demographics, be contemporary but controlled, physically solid, with apartments large in area for that end of the market. And while the construction budget allowed us great materials and finishes, it also allowed us to make sustainable principles part of this budget just beyond being regulatory. All of our projects start with thermal passage design, solar control, heaps of insulation, thermally broken windows and PV system, which we integrate into the building as cleanly as possible. Conceptually, we started by avoiding the tiered wedding cake scenario, which I don't rate, and instead went vertically, resulting in a larger space between the adjoining properties, which meant more light, air and landscaping. We have more mass to the south and it's more open to the north. We have balconies to the east, north and west, which act as really good solar control. The building form's simple. It's almost abstract with different textures and detailed screening which provide the articulation of the facades. But this has the ability to change visually, not only from in different light and different times of the day, but when the building is viewed from a distance, it has a clear language. And as you get closer, the surfaces and finishes start to reveal themselves. You can see up there on the left in the site plan a big ring of space around the building. It was typically a repeated floor plan over the three levels, basement car park. The only changes with the slight configuration of level 2, where we gave a bedroom, one of the rooms over to the other apartment. You can see that we've got all the living spaces to the north and all the bedrooms to the south, and all the apartments are able to be fully cross-ventilated. We've got magnetic door stops in every room to be able to hold doors open with the breeze blowing through that without them slamming shut. Living areas, it's an open plan arrangement, minimising the areas of egress and giving this back to usable open space. We have a glazed flex room, which not only allows for adaptable uses such as an extra bedroom or a study, it also becomes part of an adaptable volume. You know, with it open, it becomes sort of one big large area, and when you close it, pull the curtains, it sort of creates a more intimate space in both areas. Materials are brought right through the apartments for aesthetic consistency, but in the case of the concrete ceilings, it allowed us to use it as thermal mass and help control the internal environment. During construction, we were standing in this living space, which was on the top floor, and there was a gentle breeze blowing through, and it was 35-degree day, have no glazing installed at that stage, and the room felt about 10 degrees cooler. It was really quite amazing. Even though the apartments average 175 square metres, the efficient layout of room-to-room movement meant that, you know, as I mentioned, that area is given back to usable living space. You can see here the kitchen sort of rotated and recessed into sort of a more surface-orientated area, and you get this view which almost feels like a different room without having to use walls. Sustainability. The building averaged an 8-star NADES rating, with I think the highest being 8.6. Other than what I mentioned previously, the building has things such as operable louvers that control light, temperature, and privacy, but also become part of an integrated aspect of the building, you know, and a movable sort of changing facade, which makes the building feel a bit more alive. We did have xeriscape gardens, but during the VCAT process, we were instructed to introduce some non-natives and an irrigation system, which pretty much very rarely gets used except for the natives. So it became a bit more of a xeriscape-ish garden. But one of the good things that came out of this project was due to the regulatory requirements of a building user manual, and that was requested by council as part of the sustainable compliance report. I've had an idea to produce a manual like this that was really easy to use and understand for a long time. And I knew that no one reads manuals, so we designed it to look like an aircraft safety card. So it's, you know, you can read it in 5 seconds. Everything's really clear. That, you know, about efficient energy usage, different sort of seasonal passive control, things like that. You can have the highest rated building in the world, but if the occupants just don't know how to use it, that just becomes redundant. And you'd be surprised how few people actually know the really simple things to do to use your house properly, use your dwelling properly. This actually led on to the building user instruction video, which was a bit of a lockdown project, and some friends of mine donated their time, but it outlines quite simply, you know, the aspects of what's on the card in a video format, and you can actually use the QR scan code on the card to go to this video. It's magnetic door stops. This is one of my favourite bits. It's sort of engaging where it doesn't take the piss, but it's good to watch and entertaining, but quite clearly gets the messages across in under 2 minutes of viewing. There we go, using our kill switch. See you later. There's the QR scan, so you can get your phones out and click on that, and that takes there's a direct link to that video, which is on our website. Sounds like a sales pitch. Anyway, so that's Adela Apartments with a few accessories thrown in. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks very much for listening.